Stream died. Alright, we're back. I don't know what the hell, why it is that. I don't know how it's possible that in Ethernet drivers just randomly crud out, but whatever. Where's Captain? I want to finish this discussion. And then I'm probably gonna go fall asleep or something. Index select. Where's Captain? Are my boxes not on? They should be on. Let me check the boxes. They're supposed to be up. Boxes are all on. Welcome back, YouTube folks. Just looking to finish this discussion. I'll answer whatever RL stuff as well while I'm here. I'm not going to do anything crazy heavy today. I'm like all woozy and out of it. I don't know how. It's just Novocaine and Tylenol. I should be fine, right? And I'm like super woozy. And there's all sorts of stuff to do. There are Captain's environment. There's Code Ball environment from Nev. Bet's got Blastart emerge. And then there's some GPU drive needs a code pass. There's some stuff to do on Sumo. It's a traffic simulator in Env. And then, oh yeah, then there's also like Jax compatibility stuff. So there's just tons of like cleanup work to do before we start on all the cool new science. Cool new science will probably be start of 2025. I'll give Captain a couple minutes to find the stream back again. If not, I'll just go chill for a couple hours before Christmas Eve dinner. There's a lot of new science side stuff I want to start working on. But hey, it's a good problem to have. We've got lots of environments under development and getting merged in. In particular, I think the captain's environment deserves I mean, this is like a substantial enough project to be worth a better front end. Or is it? So like this environment here, it's all physically simulated. Here's the thing. Is it this one? Yeah. This is what happens if you just do the same thing with some nice shaders. Right? It's essentially just a fresh coat of paint. And you get something like this. This looks fun. 84% off. So there's their free advertising. I don't know. I guess they disappeared. It's Christmas Eve anyways. So I suppose I will simply yeah, it's Christmas Eve anyways, and I'm like way out of it. 2 hour root canal. Like an hour and a half ago. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go chill for a bit. Oh wait, no, here, there he is. That guy's back. Just in time. I was about to just sign off. I don't know where Captain is. Um, Perfect timing though. Not using the index select. This thing? It should be a scatter, shouldn't it? Don't I have one of these? Oh, okay. Yeah, you have the same thing here, the shift and then the dot to int, yeah. Um, don't I have one of these in the MOBA? One of these policies. So here, this is a fact, these factors, right? Yeah, this scatter here is multi-hot. You just have to do a cum sum, I believe. Yeah, this is a cumulative sum over the multi-hot. I don't know how fast it is. Hopefully it should be good. Neural MMO 3 is over 500K. Nah, it's a Game Boy pixel values. Pixel values aren't evenly spaced between 0 and 255. Fun. Very fun. The boxes should be good right now, right? I know they all went down in the middle of the night with some bullshit internet bug. Same unpacking for events. Yeah, makes sense. I don't know where Captain went. Stream only went down for a couple minutes. It is New Year's Eve. I mean, New Year's Eve. Christmas Eve, though. Still can't run training. Well, that's bizarre. Like, okay, I'll have to look at that. Lost in sweeps, it's been a rough ride, yeah. Well, that's what happens in slow environments in RL, right? You're basically just getting the RL PhD student experience proper there. Except imagine that if the environment were like another 3 times slower than yours is, and you had like 2 boxes instead of four. And you didn't even have any of the nice puffer infrastructure. That's like the RL PhD student experience. 25. Well, that's a little, yeah, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, the thing about it is like you really can only get stuff like carbs. It's kind of like a zeroth order optimizer. You really can't. These things just aren't going to scale to an unlimited number of parameters that are codependent in weird ways. So if those rewards were like for independent sections of the game and they didn't really have much to do with one another, then you'd probably be fine. If the environment were fast at least. Is this you or the captain? Oh, he's coming back, I think. Good. Hard to ablate scripts to isolate the parameters. It's hard to ablate scripts to isolate the parameters. Hmm. Well, if you need my eyes on it, after Christmas, I can do that. I'm not going to be much use at the moment. I'm not exactly at 100% capacity right now. And I'll have to really look at what you've been working on lately. I figured I was good enough just to like finagle a decent policy and ops architecture, though. Reintroduction and wild battles. Curious where this ends up. Note can ablate each script individually. I can't remove all of them at the same time currently. Oh. Um. Like what happens though? If you give me, I want to see the curves. Like if you have the scripts individually ablated, those would be like drop one ablations. Send like link me at some point if you get a chance. Like link me the all the drop one ablations, and then like the full thing versus none. Okay, well that is a skill issue. You really should like, yeah, you can't lose track of core important experiments when you're on a big project like that. Like basic like experimental hygiene meat is like really worth a lot for that. We're all guilty of it, but it's like especially for something that scale. Just got back. Does the order of bits, bytes, and channels matter much? Not for PyTorch, not for the PyTorch side. When you go to port it to C, you will thank yourself if it is laid out the way that PyTorch expects it already, which is channels first. I just did this yesterday for Xander's environment. He had it as channels last, which is actually better. But PyTorch does channels first. So unless you want, you could just write a permute in C and be fine. Oh, for ease of learning, does the order of bytes and... Are you asking me literally if like which channel which like one hot goes into matters? You can't be asking me that, right? Like you know how a conv works, right? Like the conv doesn't have like a positional index that matters, right? So like what? Yeah, I can't see what the question would be there. I think the answer should be no unless you have something weird. Ordering does matter for neural networks, but you're taking something and applying it in a wrong context. Um, so like if I give you, if I'm going to, it has to be a consistent ordering. So if I give you 10 scalar attributes and I shift the order of them randomly, from agent to agent, that'll screw it up. The other thing that matters is like set properties. So like let's say that you have 10 agents, 10 entities, right? And then like I just take all the attributes for each entity and I concatenate them into one big vector. Then the neural net's not going to learn like if I swap agent 1 and agent 2, it's going to look different to the neural network, which is why you need these like entity architectures that use some sort of attention. But in the context that you're asking, like, does literally the order of one hots in a CNN make sense? Then no. Like, you should know how the network works, though. Here, let me explain why this question doesn't make any sense to yours. Okay, so let's say that you have 10 agents and they each have one, there's just one property that they each have. A1, A2, okay, and you're going to have a fully connected net layer represented by this X. Okay, so what does a fully connected network do? Well, it's a matrix multiply, right? So you get like neuron 1 to this thing, right? Plus neuron 2 to this thing, plus neuron 3, plus neuron 4, right? And then you take the next neuron and you get like this, and this is how a neural net works. So if you swap A2 and A1, you see you'll get a different output. This is because this architecture, right, in a linear layer is not order invariant. It's not invariant to the order in which you present this data. So this is the main area that you can screw up in with a neural net. But like, and the same thing will happen in a conv. But in the case that you're asking, you're not asking about this, right? You're not asking if I like swap these around. You're just asking like, hey, I've got a bunch of different features. You're basically just asking like, hey, look, I've got a bunch of different features. And I'm always going to present them in the same order, right? So like, here's another piece of data. What do we call it, G? Here's another piece of data. And what you're asking is like, hey, if I swap all of the pieces of data, right? If I always put 2 where 1 is, does it make a difference? And in that case, no. It'll just learn, it'll just learn the opposite mapping from before. It only matters if you do it inconsistently, right? Does that make sense? And a conv is the same thing, right? Because what's a conv? A conv is just using a filter, which is a block of weights, which is applied at the same position in space repeatedly. Right? All a conv does is it takes a block of weights that looks like this. It takes like a block of weights, and then it convolves it over the input. Okay? And then your features are along this axis. So again, does it matter if you do this? No, as long as you do it consistently, you're good. It only cares about this 2D spatial dimension. Right, this 2D spatial dimension this way. So hopefully this is helpful. Anything else I have to answer here? Or are we good for the time being? Initial policy. Confused on how you do the multi-hot encoding. So I have it right here. If that guy has the bits thing, but if you're ignoring the bits thing, you can look at the neural MMO3 policy. So in this case, it's actually even easier for you because you don't have to, like, this is, hey, this one can take 4 values, this one can take 4 values, this one can take 17 values. You just have bits. So in your case, it's very easily. Literally all you do is a scatter. Let me show you. So you're just gonna make something of size, batch size. This will be like 10 or however many channels you have. And then this will be 21 by 21, and you'll just scatter it. Actually, in your case, you don't even have to do that, right? Because you already have it in the format that you want it. So format is for multi-hot. I think you actually literally, yeah, you literally don't even have to do anything. You already have it in the format you want it, right? Because your data is going to be laid out like, so your obs data is going to be laid out like this in memory. This is channel 1. And then this is like 21, row 1. And this is like C1, C2, C3, right? You could unpack. What? No, the Pokemon network is 100 times slower. You can't be lazy with this stuff in. Like, these nets are 100 times faster. You can't be messing around with dictionary formats for the most part. Okay, so your data is laid out like this in memory, and it's just zeros and ones, right? These are bytes. Then literally, this is just a PyTorch tensor, Captain. Like, PyTorch just takes this as a tensor. It's already in the format. It's already in the channel's major format, right? So it's like 0, 0, 1, 1, right? 1, 0, 1, right? Ten or whatever. And if you bit pack it, right, you'll save a fair bit of data. But that's a good starting point. Pass scalar obs for other drones as well. Yeah, you can pass scalar obs for the other drones if you want. What you could do if you really wanted to is you could just always make, I've used this trick before. So this is going to be your drone data, right? you can just always put yourself first. Right? You put your own vector first, and then what you do. So these get embedded here. Let's make a new. Right, so here's the observation for a single agent, right? It observes itself, which is first, and then it observes the other three agents. And then what you do is linear. Okay, so linear gives you, it's still the same as before, right? It's just different size. And then you can do like attention type thing, in which what you would do is you take your first vector and you multiply it against the whole matrix. So you take self and you take, this has to be transposed. So this transposed. And that gives you like keying your own agent embedding against the other agent embeddings. And then you take a max. So in code, it would be something like, it would be something like agent, what's it? Drone obs. And then we do like linear, what's it? Linear drone obs. And then what we do is E0 drone obs. Self equals T matmul T something like this. Does that code make sense to you? I wouldn't necessarily advise doing this first. I'd advise doing my version first and then ablating it. But does that code make sense? Let me know if that makes sense, Captain. Oops. Hey YouTube folks, welcome. This is currently policy design and troubleshooting with Captain on his physics arena shooter environment that looks like, you should put a better footage policy, like a better footage version of this so people can see how cool it is. This doesn't do it justice. The demos you've shown are like way cooler than this. You had 8 people watching the stream on 3:30 p.m. on Christmas Eve is funny to me. And I'm only half here, so I'll say 8.5. Mm. Mhm. Uh, it's amusing. Where'd you go, Captain? Hopefully it didn't crash. Oh, let me check the test to see if they. All right, so it doesn't work on 3.8. Do we care? Oh, it's because I just took 3.8 off. We don't need this thing, right? Can I not edit this? Oh, there we go. 3.8. Yeah. Works on everything else, so I think we're good. I think we've got working package. And this badge should reevaluate, right? Yeah, so this will reevaluate, and we will see working puffer. Oh, and this badge is wrong as well. Isn't it? Wait, star. Oh, the actions badge will update as well. Okay, so it'll show, it should just show 3.9, 3.10, 3.11 once this runs. Do star the repo if you have not already. It helps us a ton. That's funny. Captain, if you're still here, if this resolves everything, I think we're good for Christmas Eve. I'll answer anything else while I'm here, but if not, I'll call it. Merged Mac OS build support. Hopefully, made this policy stuff make sense for you. Merged that guy's action for tests. Oh, look at that. Why does it say install failing? Install passing. Great. Okay, we're set then. Well, thanks, folks. If you want to get the Puffer a star for Christmas, please go ahead and do that. If you're not in the Discord, discord.gg/Puffer. I don't know why I have this site up. You have a way better one now. Puffer AI, puffer.ai. It's got all our stuff on it. Got docs, blog, everything else is here. So other than that, thanks, folks, and Merry